It seems a lot of people think that 2026 will be a complete make or break year for music professionals. Now, I'm no time traveler and I'm no psychic or anything like that, so none of us can actually say for sure, least of all me. But in my recent video on changing my mind about how AI is going to take all of our jobs away from us, first of all, that video blew up. I didn't realize that that was such a hot button topic. In reading the comments, there was just two types of comments. It was, thank you for this perspective. I'm now more optimistic than I was, or you're wrong. We are all completely doomed. And I didn't think that there were that quantity of people out there that really thought that we were actually doomed. So in this video today, the first thing that I want to do is give one more caveat to my point of view on AI and how I think we're going to be okay. But then also immediately after that, what I want to do is give you guys the strategies. Even though I think we're going to be okay, I'm still going to do all this stuff to try to provide myself a fail-safe against all of this AI stuff. So there's probably like three types of people when it comes to how we think about this AI stuff. There's the people like me now who are like, yeah, it's going to make an impact, but I don't think it's going to take my job. There are people that think that it's probably going to take most people's jobs, but they would still like to have a career in music. That's who this video is for. And then there's probably a whole bunch of people that think that it's game over and they're ready to throw in the towel. If you have the mindset of it's over, there's no point in even fighting it or trying because it's just over and I'm going to be out of a job, well, no one can help you. You will be out of a job with that mindset. But today in this video, I'm going to focus on the people who think we're going to be okay and the people who would like to be okay, even though they think it's going to be a rough ride. Hey everyone, I'm Cole Caparoon. Thank you for stopping by for another video. So let me get through the point that I forgot to make in my AI video. That is another point for the idea that I think we're gonna be all okay. And then I promise I'm gonna get onto a whole bunch of things that I think you should do to help combat AI taking over the industry and help secure your place in the industry and help keep you making money and keeping your job. Now, the point that I didn't make in my AI video is that I did talk about how long is it going to be before we get to the point where AI can mix our song and then you can do endless mix revisions and be like, oh, I need the hi-hat up a quarter dB and I need the vocal delay changed from an eighth delay to an eighth dotted delay. How long will it be before we get that level of granularity in our AI control? Me personally, I think it's going to be a really, really long time. I'm not saying it won't happen. I think it will happen eventually, but it's going to be a really long time. And my general premise on the last video, for those of you that didn't see it, is two things. One, people really like control. And the quantity of songs that I mix where people make revision requests, requesting stuff that is it just doesn't matter. It's completely pointless, whether because they're stuck on a certain idea or because they feel the need to be included and important, a part of the process. Regardless of what the reason is, people make requests, change requests that are so granular, and AI can't possibly do that. And another reason in my last video is that we've already had AI mastering, online mastering. I guess it's been longer than I realized, like a decade now, and it did not put any mastering engineers out of a job. I know zero mastering engineers that quit working in music because of this change, even though AI mastering does actually do a good job and it is infinitely cheaper. And I think we're just overestimating AI's ability to do what we want it to do. And I think we're underestimating people, and especially creative people's ability to just forfeit control. Because when you use an AI to work on your music, what you are doing is forfeiting control. One of the things that I did not discuss in my last video is that, at least as of right now, I'm not saying it will always be this way, but at least as of right now, AI does not make changes. AI creates from scratch. Now, this is crystal clear when you see all these viral videos. I'll see if I can find one to throw up on the screen here. When you see these viral videos where it's like, I asked AI to replicate this photo 100 times in a row, and in 100 replications, it turns into a piece of abstract art, even though it was a portrait of a real person to begin with. And so The reason for this, and the reason why I don't think AI will take mixing jobs anyway, is because that whole turn the hi-hat up a quarter dB, that's not even at a fundamental level how AI works. What AI will do is you will feed it a set of prompts, a set of ideas, or a set of audio cues, and it will synthesize from scratch a whole thing based on what you ask it to do. It will replace everything. And so in my opinion, where I see this going is the idea that you would dump 200 audio tracks into an AI and it would mix it for you, and then you would be able to request changes like hi-hat up a quarter dB or change the delay on a vocal. Well, that's just not at any level how it works whatsoever. You dump 200 tracks into an AI, even when we get there to that place where we can do that, and it will recreate, start over from scratch. From scratch, it will take all of those audio cues that you've sent in, and it will create a mix or a song from those cues, but there will be no opportunity for you to say, turn the hi-hat up a quarter dB. It won't be able to do that because the hi-hat will no longer be an audio file that's able to be processed completely on its own. And in the same way that currently we ask AI to replicate an image 100 times without changing it, this is what's going to happen. You're going to ask an AI to turn the hi-hat up a quarter dB, and it's going to give you a mix, another synthesized piece of audio that is completely different than what it gave you previously. Now, yes, AI grows exponentially, and yes, this will get better very quickly, but I don't see ever a moment when it will mix it from scratch. The only way that I see that is AI being deeply incorporated into a DAW, and you being able to use a DAW like Pro Tools or Studio One or whatever, and then an AI being attached to each track individually, so that way it can mix everything in the session, and then you still have total granular control. That is the only way that I see this being possible. And like I said in my last video, mixing is the sexiest part of creating music. It's what everyone has the most fun doing. And so we're just gonna give that over to AI. I just don't think so. I don't think we will. I think people, humans, and especially creative people, we really like control, and we really have a vision in our minds that we'd like to accomplish. Okay, that's enough ranting about that. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that AI is going to put a ton of music industry professionals out of work in 2026, like the comments in my video suggested, because so many of them were saying, no, you're wrong, you've got 3 months left. And I promise we have significantly more than 3 months left. Maybe in years we'll get to a place, it might be kind of a slow burn. And I'm not saying that it's not going to impact any industries. Obviously, there are going to be industries that are dramatically affected by AI. But here on this channel, I talk primarily about mixing. I want to make sure I stay focused on the things that I am educated about and know about. Let's say that you're real nervous about it. What do you do? The two things that you do right out of the gate, you should start today, is making sure that your resume is very impressive. The collection of songs that you have worked on is as impressive as you can possibly make it. Now, obviously, we all try to do our best with every single song, but I'm saying more like start going after the artists and the clients that are maybe above your pay grade in skill set, in success level. If you've got to do stuff for free to build your resume, I did that a ton. When I first moved here to Nashville, I did a ton of free work, not 100% free work. I did a ton of free work, but I only did it with artists that gave me a song to show off that was better than everything else I had done up until that point. And those clients that I did stuff for free for almost never turned into paying clients. That's not the point. The point is to get a new song that is better than everything else you've worked on, so that way you can then show that better work and get more people, higher end clients. Build your resume, build your portfolio. The work that you have to show for yourself, make sure it's just the very, very best. The next thing is to create personal relationships. Now, I've talked almost ad nauseum about this on the channel. The thing that is going to fight AI the hardest is personal relationships. People work with people they know. And I've said this 1,000 times on this channel, people will work with people they know over more talented options almost always. I see AI as exactly the same thing. An artist is more likely to work with a producer or a mixer that they know and trust than they are to try a new AI for something like that. So the better your portfolio is, the better the music you have to show for yourself is, the more likely people are to hire you. The more personal relationships you have, the more likely those people are to hire you. The next thing is marketing. We're seeing a shift in this now, but for years, creatives we've been historically bad at marketing, and I get it. It feels sleazy. It feels used car salesman-y to constantly promote what you're doing and beg people to listen to your song and beg people to hire you. I get it. I promise you, the more you think AI is going to be a problem, the more important your marketing is. And I think what a lot of people don't look at their music career like is as a business. If you started a plumbing business, if you opened a food truck, fill in the blank with whatever topic you want, you have to promote it. People don't just come to your food truck and get your tacos just because you put in the money to have a food truck. And the businesses like that are crushing it are the ones that are crushing their social media content. They're doing extremely engaging, often funny videos. They're very creative in their approach and how they're showing things off and how they grab people's attention in their Instagram reels and their TikToks and their photos, etc. And being a successful person in the music industry, if you're in any sort of entrepreneurial role, like 99% of us are, this is one of the most important things for success, period, but especially if you want to stand out against AI. Because if an artist sees an AI thing and they're like, oh, I could just have that do it, but also they've followed you in your studio and you've been posting awesome content, great songs, hilarious content, you look like you're fun and trustworthy and easy to work with, it will pull a lot of people away from the uncertainty and the lack of control of AI and make them more interested in at least having a conversation with you. Let me wrap this up in a little bit, but first there are links in the description down below for every piece of gear that I use and every piece of gear that I recommend. So anytime you guys need any piece of musical gear whatsoever, doesn't even have to be things that are actually linked in the description below, jump on any one of my videos, click on any link in the description down below, and once you're on the site, you can purchase absolutely anything you need, a microphone cable, pack of guitar strings, or your next holy grail compressor. And when you do that, it costs you nothing extra, but it is an enormous help for me and for this channel and helps me keep making videos just like this. Those links all go to Sweetwater, so huge thanks to Sweetwater for sponsoring this video. I'm honored and pumped that me and Sweetwater are continuing to work together on sponsored content through 2026. They have been a massive, massive part of helping me build this channel and helping me get this content out to you guys. So thank you guys for using the links in the description when you need to purchase anything. Thank you for supporting the people that support me, and thank you to Sweetwater for sponsoring this video. Now, I could keep going on and on and on about strategies, about how to get ahead, but I have a ton of videos like that on the channel already. These are the basic things. Resume, portfolio building, working for free if you need to build that, personal relationships, social media content. That is the foundation for how you get ahead of everything else right now. And that is not going to change in 2026, and that's not going to change regardless of how impactful or not impactful AI is. Those are the things that are going to keep you ahead of the curve. I'm still optimistic. I don't actually know what's going to happen, but I am optimistic because I've been doing all of those things for decades. And because I know how much control people want. I know how particular artists are. Now, I think there's going to be a lot of demo work that goes away. I think Suno is just going to become the way that everyone makes demos and work tapes. And there's definitely a handful of examples like that. And so I do think it's going to impact people, but I don't think it's going to be the career-ending thing for every single person involved in music creation like a lot of people seem to think that it is. And even if it is, what are we going to do? Just roll over and die? We just going to throw in the towel now before it even happens? Let's just go get a job at McDonald's because AI is coming? No, that's obviously not what any working professional is going to do. We're going to keep working until we are absolutely forced out. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this helps you. We'll see you in the next one. Happy New Year. Peace.